Today I have some exciting observations from South by Southwest, which wrapped up last week in Austin, Texas. And one of the things that was super exciting was AI was everywhere. It was hard to get away from it, whether presentations on the exhibition floor, conversations at lunch, dinner, everybody was talking about AI. So the question for you is AI more like oxygen, or is it more like fire, one of the most destructive forces on the planet? So back in 2017, Deepak at LinkedIn talked about how AI was like oxygen, natural, life-giving. You don't even notice it, but you breathe it every second, every minute of every day. It reinvigorates. It powers everything. More recently, the CEO of Alphabet, Sundar Pichai, talked about how AI could have a more profound effect than fire and electricity combined. And fire is a very destructive force, but fire also is a force of energy, right? It allows you to melt things and create new metals. It creates energy, which powers the world, the internet. So one of the sessions at South by Southwest was AI isn't coming for your job, but those using it will. I think that's a true statement. There are some folks that are skeptics and don't believe that's the case, but for most knowledge workers, we're in the space where we're using AI, or if we're not using AI, we run the risk of being obsolete. And so it was interesting some of the comments the panelists made. Tom Agello with Lippincott had a couple really interesting statements. One was nearly $16 trillion will be invested in AI by 2030. Another statement he made was the terminology around the value of data. Data is the new gold. And just like gold has different levels of purity, so does data. The cleaner your data, the more consistent it is, the fewer errors in it, the more complete it is, the more valuable it's going to be going forward. One of the other panelists was Blake Gazier from Samsung. He's the director of smartphone product management. And he has some great comments about how Samsung is using AI. We want the user experience to be so easy and so frictionless that you don't even know AI is behind the scenes making a lot of those connections for you, a lot of those clicks for you, so you don't have to do that anymore, right? That things just almost happen by magic. And that's paraphrasing what he said, but I think that's the direction Samsung's going to want to be heading. Now, one of the audience members asked this question, which I thought was a very interesting question. He said, if you're seeking a job, what do you need to bring to the table when it comes to AI? And Blake had a great answer to that. He said, well, one of the things you could certainly do is use AI to do research on the company, understand their culture, what they're all about, what you can bring to the table based upon their needs, where they're going, their product set, their services. And then one of the other panelists made this observation, which I thought was really interesting. She said, you need to be using AI right now in your job to learn about it, to experiment with it, to try it. And we're doing that at Namestormers. We've recently run Claude 3 against ChatGPT 4, and we're anticipating ChatGPT 5 to be out maybe next month in April, maybe in May, and it's supposed to be a lot better than 4. And we're benchmarking those against Google's Gemini, and then you have other variants out there. And using these things and experimenting with these and trying these almost on a daily basis, you learn how to navigate. You learn how to prompt them and how to iterate through and get new ideas, fresh ideas, new insights, new paths to take when it comes to naming, when it comes to research, when it comes to evaluate how might a particular target react to a name, what might the name mean in particular languages, are there issues with the name from a legal trademark infringement standpoint. All these issues are things that AI can help you start to address. And yeah, you need to be aware of hallucination, but the takeaway from all these panelists was, in the past, it's all been about competitive advantage. In the future, it's going to be about collaborative advantage. That is, because of the pace of change, because of all the new cool things AI is bringing to the table, no one has all the answers, right? No one knows the best solution, and even if they do, it's going to be different the next day. So collaborating, experimenting, using it on a daily basis, talking to other folks seems to be the key path forward for AI in naming, in branding, in strategy work, and probably in a lot of the things that you do. So in conclusion, is AI more like oxygen or is it more like fire? We believe it's more like oxygen. You'll breathe it in constantly throughout the day. You won't even notice it, but it will fuel your thinking. It will fuel your creativity. It will make you more efficient. It will streamline everything you do. But what does fire need to actually exist? So you need to be careful with AI. You need to always be concerned about safety and confidentiality. But used properly, we're so excited about the potential that AI has to offer us, our clients, and you too.